Good morning. Monster is really pleased to join the CTA guests and my fellow speakers here today to provide you with a high-level picture of jobs and employment in technology. And it's a picture that's dynamic, disruptive, and laden with opportunity. For us, the discussion around jobs is critically important to our mission of helping people in government and education find, hire, and develop workforces. So here's what I'd like to cover with you today in about 15 minutes. We'll go back to last year to set up a discussion about the current demand for technology jobs, project forward and see what those jobs may look like in 10 years, and spend some time talking about the workforce, the supply side. There's a lot going on there. There's multiple generations. In fact, there's 4 generations now in the workforce. There's an agile workforce, the freelance economy, and there's a lot of initiatives underway to help build the talent pipeline in tech, and then we'll wrap up. To set the stage for the discussion, let's go back to last year. Unemployment rates in technology are low. At 2.5%, the rate for computer, math, and engineering occupations was half that of all jobs. And employment for tech occupations and industries showed solid expansion. The data for this presentation is about a set of tech-focused occupations and tech-focused industries that we developed for this event. We developed it in collaboration with our research partner, Chimera Economics and Analytics. The data shows occupational employment reaching nearly 7.8 million in 2016 on a growth rate of about 1.5%. That's roughly the growth rate for all jobs. The tech industries fared a bit better, with employment reaching 8.5 million on growth of 2.1%. Tech layoffs last year were higher. They were up about 25,000 from the previous year. The more detailed data points to where the future growth in tech employment will largely come from, which is software, support, and services. 3 of the 5 occupations that showed the largest gains in employment were software related, software developers and computer programmers. You might be interested to note there are in fact now more application software developers in the United States than lawyers. Another growth occupation was computer system analysts. These are the folks who are responsible for merging business and IT initiatives. Also showing strong demand was support positions like computer support specialists. On the industry side, the big gainers in employment were in services, computer systems design, custom computer programming. But job growth was also very strong in electronic shopping. This is exemplified by Amazon, which is currently on a hiring spree. Software publishing also expanded nicely, as did internet publishing, broadcasting, and web search. Examples here would be Google and the Huffington Post. So where was tech employment shrinking last year? The occupations at industries that showed decline were largely in manufacturing. In the industry group, it was manufacturing related to things like computer storage, aeronautical and nautical systems, and instruments measuring electricity. Also notable in decline was employment in the wireless telecommunications carrier industry. In the occupational group, aside from manufacturing, there were slight drops in employment for jobs associated with installing transport equipment and cellular towers. As we move into the current job market, it's important to note, as we see here, the major rise since 2013 in hires, job openings, and quits. These are employees who voluntarily leave their jobs. These, along with the current unemployment rate of 4.5%, signal a tightening labor market in which it's harder and more expensive to fill job openings. On top of this, in technology, are the particular often changing middle and advanced skill sets sought by employers. And employers do see their struggle for IT talent increasing, as illustrated by the survey of CIOs from all business sizes. The percentage who cited near-term shortages jumped from 49% in 2016 to 60% in 2017. And what are they looking for? Well, the top skills they're looking for were in data science, business intelligence and analytics, along with security, as well as enterprise software. The smaller businesses were also concerned with application development, and the larger businesses with cloud services. Let's cut to this year and take a look at tech occupations that are most in demand. And not surprisingly, it's a continuation of last year's story. We can look at job postings from organizations and recruiters during the first quarter of 2017 to show what they're most looking for. And what they're looking for are those application developers, the computer systems analysts, those administration and support positions, but also for positions like IT project managers and industrial computer systems and software quality control folks, as well as that cyber position of information security analysts. The top skills in demand show the sophisticated mix of technical and soft skills that are prevalent in tech hiring today. For example, communication, troubleshooting, and problem-solving skills sit alongside Java, project management, and software development. While technical skills are often cited as where the gaps exist, we observe that employers also struggle to find the right mix of hard and soft skills. A recent survey of tech firms in this region from our partner, the Northern Virginia Technology Council, indicates that at least 80% of respondents listed the mastery of certain soft skills as a requirement for employment. The scoring that we show here is from an employer viewpoint in terms of how hard it is to hire for certain occupations. Overall, it's significantly higher, as the green bar shows, to hire for tech jobs than it is for all jobs, which are shown in the purple bar. And the professions most in demand also present some of the greatest hiring challenges. So it's those web developers, those software engineers, and those project managers, and cyber positions as well. The hyperdynamic state of the tech market shows up in this list of hot IT and engineering jobs, which are chosen by employment experts at our parent company, Randstad. Many of these are emerging job categories, such as the Internet of Things architect. These professionals assist with the development and execution of applications and information across a wide variety of technical devices. Job postings for this role have shown notable recent jumps in volume. Another emerging profession is the virtual reality, augmented reality engineer. There's been an increase in popularity of both VR and AR applications and systems. And these engineers are currently in high demand, with companies like Oculus, which is owned by Facebook, Intel, and Amazon, showing the most current public demand for this position. There's also a lot of hiring going on behind the scenes. Nationally, cyber is an area of large labor and skill shortages, but it's particularly acute here in the DC area. Half the employers in that NVTC survey I mentioned earlier have indicated trouble filling cyber openings. And there are currently over 47,000 openings in the area, which is the most concentrated in the country. The salaries are at a median level of $155,000, which are 22% above the national average. Looking at the longer term, and this is a forecast of employment from 2016 to 2026, the story of where the net new employment will come from has already started playing out. In occupations, the increase in employment is projected in large part to come from software developers, computer systems analysts, and computer support. Other professions with notably high growth include web developers, information security analysts, and jobs associated with using computers in manufacturing environments. On the industry side, it's a half dozen services industries, most prominently computer system design, custom computer programming, and other computer programming services like providing disaster recovery. Other industries with projected long-term growth are e-shopping, again, Amazon, software publishing, as well as R&D and that internet publishing and broadcasting. Let's shift now to looking at the dynamic and disruptive supply side, the workforce. The workforce is now in the midst of a generational shift, and this impacts how tech talent is recruited. Innovative companies are taking an open and creative approach to understanding the generational differences and incorporating them in their talent recruitment and development. Now numbering close to 80 million, millennials have overtaken baby boomers as America's largest generation, and they are now the biggest chunk of the labor force. In order to attract the best talent, hiring managers need to understand career drivers for each generation. The results you see here from Monster's multi-generational survey uncovered some of these differences. So for stable baby boomers like myself, we're more focused on benefits and bosses. The loyal and Gen Xers are less motivated by change and more by security. And for the millennials, it's all about job challenges and excitement. That's what's important. And for the younger generation, the youngest Gen Z, they like to look at the ability to pursue passion. That's very prominent for them. Another disruption is in the nature of hiring, which is becoming much more flexible and fluid. The impact of the agile workforce, which we define as contract, consultant, freelance, and temporary workers, is growing. It's now 11% of the workforce. But as you can see here, almost 40% of permanent workers are looking to go agile in the next few years, according to research from Randstad. The percentage of companies, some 40%, are now committed to building an agile workforce and dramatically increasing it in coming years. Over 3/4 of companies use agile workers now. And computer and IT are two of the top industries for agile workers due to the project-oriented nature of technology work and the sustained technical talent shortage. We see demand for freelance or temporary workers continuing to increase rapidly. Companies want that greater flexibility, economy, and efficiency from their workforce investments. We've seen a myriad of challenges in tech employment, including what we've heard about today for talent and tech skill shortages and the market acceleration caused by new technologies. To address these issues, the public, private, nonprofit, and education sectors are urgently working to develop talent pipelines across multiple generations using creative and productive solutions, partnerships, and funding. With education and youth, we see programs like the P-TECH program, in which students at no cost to their parents earn a high school diploma and associate's degree. They have access to internships and favorable status for entry-level jobs with major tech companies. This program has proved to be very successful. It now has thousands of students. It's going to be in 100 schools by the end of the year, and there are 300 companies participating in it. We also see elsewhere nonprofits like Year Up that are bridging disadvantaged youth into tech careers. And vets, this is a very active area nationally. We have the Tech Vets Initiative with the Consumer Technology Association, NVTC, and also the Mass High Tech Council. This helps vets land jobs and gives employers access to a large pool of tech talent. And our military.com site has a whole host of resources to help vets gain employment. Tech giants like Dell, EMC, and Hewlett-Packard have also pledged to hire thousands of veterans or military spouses over the next 5 years. We're also seeing much more emphasis on skills and not just diplomas. Companies are looking for and hiring the right mix of skills for positions that are often gained through vocational training. Some tech giants like Google have said for some time that degrees are not the basis for their hiring. We expect to see this approach based on hiring for the right skills, competency, experience, and knowledge to continue to expand. We're also seeing more efforts for training and retraining. Yes, I used the T word. Here we see examples like Tech Hire, which is a $150 million grant program from DOL. It has 500 employers involved in it. It's in 39 states. It's in DC. We have some involvement here as well. We're working with workforce development boards, applying data to help them determine which tech areas to focus on and find the right employer partners. Coding boot camps are also an example of fast-growing industry that has sprung up to fill skill gaps. Last year, this sector totaled $200 million, and it produced 18,000 graduates in the US and Canada. So there's clearly a lot going into building the current and future talent for tech employment. This photo, we think, really sums up the picture in tech jobs, and it's about dynamism, disruption, and opportunity. Technology has always been an extremely dynamic market, and now it's moving even faster. That's creating employment and career opportunities for those with the right mix of skills, attitude, experience, and knowledge. but there are clearly skill gaps and employment shortages, particularly in fast developing jobs related to emerging technologies like the Internet of Things, AR, VR, and cybersecurity. Disruption. That's illustrated by the agile workforce, the multi-generation workforce, and the expanding array of innovative, creative, and effective solutions that are in play to attack the labor shortages and build the talent pipeline. And there's certainly opportunity. We think there's a whole lot of opportunity. It's in tech occupations such as software development, computer support and administration, web development, and cyber. And it's in industries like computer services, e-shopping, and software publishing. All these are currently showing great momentum and are forecast to continue strong expansion well into the next decade. Thank you.